visa. So the answer is because 407 have different training pathway. If you fall under any one of these category, you can apply this visa. Is having the same experience requirement like 482 visa. You must have 1 year of work experience or including recent qualification within the last 2 years. So if you're not meeting the 482 requirements, because 482 itself, that visa requires labor market testing and have to advertise the job, everything, and but your visa going to expire soon, you don't have much time, and even cost involved in those visas. There's less cost involved in training visas, and sometimes employer says we are not going to meet the TASMIT level, and we're not going to recruit you for 482 visas, so you're getting less salary. So in that case, you don't have any other option. You have to opt 407 training visa, especially. And if your employer plan to organize a training plan for you and going to enhance your skill before going to increment in your salary, and then you can proceed for 482 or 186 option after that. So that is the purpose of this visa. So now come to the point. So how this visa is applied? Usually there are 3 stages of this visas, but yeah, there is no labor market testing involved. So first stage is the sponsorship. So the employer must be an approved temporary activity sponsor that registered with the Department of Home Affairs. That is the main requirement for sponsorship. The sponsoring organization must be actively and lawfully operating in Australia. The sponsorship approval is valid for up to 5 years, allowing for multiple nomination during this time. So it is better if employer have approved temporary activity sponsorship, but still you can apply this visa if you applying sponsorship altogether, but you have to apply sponsorship first before going to the second and third stage. So without getting the approval, still we can apply all these stages all together. So next stage is the nomination. In nomination stage, the employer going to nominate you for the occupation or training. They're going to opt for you. So required for each applicant, unless the sponsor is a Commonwealth government agency, in which case nomination is automatic. But if it is not Commonwealth agency, then employer must have to nominate you. So must include the detailed and structured training plan tailored to the applicant needs and the role requirement. The training must be full-time and supervised and designed to provide genuine skill development relevant to the occupation. So, as I said, for example, you are working in some industry, for example, in IT industry, and you are already a security specialist, and employer going to train you for cyber security, for further software development, everything. So because every time technology changes, new software comes in. So they want to train you. So they can make a training plan for you that they're going to train you for such new technology. And that's how you can, on the basis of that training plan and nomination laws by the employer, you're eligible to apply this training visa accordingly. Now come to the third stage. The 407 third stage is the visa application after nomination. So in this stage, your sponsorship is lost or maybe approved, or your nomination is lost by the employer. Now, what is the requirement for visa? So there are certain requirement and limitation to apply this visa. So first is you must be at least 18 years of old. There is no upper age limit in this visa subclass. This is the one of the advantage. Second, English Language, you just need functional English to apply for this visa. So let's come to the functional English. Functional English means you either you have passport from selected country like Canada, America, New Zealand, Ireland, United Kingdom, uh, or you have the IELTS band score, the English test score, which is overall 4.5, or PTE overall 30. And but the main important thing is you must have this English test. If you go for English test, it have to be within the 1 year period. You can't give the English test 2 years or 3 years old. Uh, so English requirement is different for different category of visas. And this visa, it is granted for 2 years. You employer can make a training plan either for 1 year or less period or up to the 2 years. So this visa is granted. The main requirement for visa holder that you must have relevant qualifications or at least 12 months of recent work experience. And this has to be within the last 2 years. And third, another most important categories are you have to satisfy journal intention to stay temporarily in Australia, which is called GT criteria. That is also a very important factor of these visas. So intend to stay in Australia temporarily, meet all health, character, insurance requirements, and proof of finances you have to show, which is not much. It is like you must support if you have a job employer already paying you for the training as well, and just $5,000 and return pay, so that be sufficient to demonstrate. And work must be directly related to the training program. So you can invite your family member as well on this visa, but the limitation is the secondary applicant. They have working right restrictions. They can work up to 40 hours per fortnight. So these are the process and guidelines for training visa. So if you have any questions on training visas or any query, whether you're eligible to apply or not, whether your employer is eligible to apply for the sponsorship, anything you have any question, you can ask at the end or send us the queries through, as I said, on our WhatsApp, Facebook, or on our website, or you can contact us on the phone number given below, given on the screen. Let's move to the next category of employer sponsor visa. Let me move to the slides. And yeah, so another major categories after training visa is the skill in demand subclass 482. So subclass 482 is name is recently changed last year from temporary TSS visa, temporary skills shortage visa, to skill in demand visa 482. Department also changed the skill list as well. They designed the new skill list that is approximately contains somewhere about 400 something, that is 456 occupation industry. So about the employer can sponsor you for 1 year to up to the maximum of 4 years. This visa can be granted. And same like 407, this visa have strict employment requirement that applicant who going to apply this visa must have at least 1 year of work experience in the particular occupation. If the working part-time at least 20 hours per week, then still is accepted on a pro rata basis for eligibility. For example, I can say if you are on student visa, working in your occupation, then you work 2 years in that occupation during student visa because you have work right, a work restriction as well. So in that case, for that 2 years is calculated uh, equivalent to the 1 year of work experience. So that's how they calculate. So if it is full time, that's fine. If it is part time, but at least 20 hours per week, so it is calculated 2 year, calculated 1 year. So if you have 1 year of work experience, you could be eligible to apply this visa. And PR pathway is also available after these visas in terms of 186 visa. Another main requirement is the English language. So must meet the English criteria, so which is IELTS 5 in each band or 36 equivalent PTE 36 in each module. So main eligibility, so your occupation, in which occupation you're going to apply this visa, that must be on core skill occupation list, which was recently modified, and which is called CSOL, core skill occupation list, out of which I said there are 456 occupations are there in this stream. So in order to apply this visa, let's go to the next slide. There are three, again, like 407, it's having 3 stages. Stage 1, stage 2, stage 1 sponsorship, stage 2 nomination, and stage 3 is the visa application process. Now come to stage 1. In the previous 407 subclass, the employer applied for temporary activity sponsorship, but subclass 482 sponsorship is different. That's not the same as the 407. So it is called SBS, Standard Business Sponsorship. So employer must have to apply this sponsorship first if they're going to nominate someone. So an application by the employer proving they are legally operating in Australia and need to nominate employees for this visa. So either the sponsorship already approved, usually it is valid for 5 years, or new application had to be lodged before the nomination and visa application by the employer. So for example, you're working with somewhere, you're working as a chef, you're working as a painter, you're working in any occupation, and you have 1 year of work experience, and your employer, you have good relationship with the employer, and your employer willing to sponsor you, you can choose this option. In that case, first of all, to nominate you, employer has to apply standard business sponsorship. So department asks for the sponsorship application, their tax returns, their business activities. They find out how profitable the business is, everything. Then they approve the sponsorship accordingly. And the second stage is the nomination. So the employer, after applying the sponsorship or after getting the sponsorship approval, so they can nominate you. The nomination process is the main backbone of this visa because it is with a complex process. The sponsor had to go for labor market testing. They had to demonstrate to the department. They tried to recruit Australian citizen or Australian permanent resident for this visa, but they were unable to find someone for this position. And now they're going to recruit some overseas skilled worker. So with this process is called labor market testing. The employer have to advertise the position over the social media or the website to recruit person. And this advertisement must be there continuously at least 28 days, at least on 2 different periods. And then prove that the need for the employee have the employer have the financial capacity to recruit that employer, and they have the genuine need for that employee. So that's what they have to prove. And also have to mention the salary, everything, which is called tasmit. So they have to meet that requirement. So which is currently increased from 1st of July, which is